Hello and welcome to Tiffany's Tiny Things. In today's video I am going to embark yet another commission piece, and it will be Jareth and Sara from the movie Labyrinth. And if you don't know what movie this is, it's a movie from the 80s starring David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. So let's get started. And the chosen victims for this project are Draculaura for Sara's character and the Headless Mistress for Jareth's character. And as you understand, Jareth will be a female in this doll version. And we'll start making Jareth's clothes. So this is from a very specific scene in the movie. It's Sara's dream scene about Jareth, so that's the clothes we are going for. So I'm making Jareth's coat here. I have drawn out all the patterns. I made a mock coat first, just to see that it works. And now I'm just cutting all the pieces out. And now we are going to sew all the shoulder pieces together. Now I've sewn together the shoulder pieces, and here we have the lining. And I try this version first with sewing the sides of the lining together, but it didn't work out, so I changed it later. Now, as you see, I've sewn the outer part and the lining separately and connected in the bottom, and that worked out much better. And I didn't do a lining in the arms because the sleeves would be too thick for a small doll like this, so no lining in the sleeves. And now you see the inside is out, so we have to turn the whole thing right side out. And I use like thin sticks and things just to poke out all the ends. And there was a hole I missed, so I have to sew that together. So the hole is fixed, and now we can turn it right side out. And as you see, I use like a thin painting brush just to poke out the corners, and just be very careful when you do this, especially with this type of delicate fabric. And as I said, be very careful when you poke with tiny little stick. Yeah, careful. So the base of the coat is now done, and I have ironed all the edges so it looks crisp. And now it's time to attach the collar, because Jareth has a very large collar on his coat. So the coat is done, and I think it looks really good. But before we add all the pearls and sequins that go on it, we'll do the shirt thingy with all the ruffles in the front, and bam! Suddenly it just appears. I did it off camera, but it wasn't so hard. I just gathered a lot of fabric in the front and stitched it to a little shirt. So there you go. And the pants are the original pants that the Headless Mistress comes with. Jareth has this big jewelry brooch or whatever on the front of the shirt, so I just made this out of pearls and beads. And now let's attach some lace to the back of the coat. This will be underneath all the sequins and stuff. It was really hard to see from photos exactly how this coat looks like, but I think I got kind of a similar look to it. And here I'm just attaching lace to the sleeves. So as you see, I have started applying all the little beads and sequins to the back here with some gold thread. And well, as you understand, it is very difficult to take something in human size and scale it down to this very tiny doll scale. But I like my interpretation of the coat. I looked a lot of the color changes and kind of what pattern is forming, and so it's an interpretation, okay? And Jareth also has this golden waist thingy, and it's not this wide as I made it, but I did it this wide just to work with the outfit. Attached some buttons on the back, and there you have the finished outfit. And I tucked it in the pants because I thought it looked better that way. So here we have the finished Jareth outfit. So I started with Sarah's dress off camera and made the underskirt with some pink chiffon fabric, a couple of layers of it, and in between the layers I put some white lace. I gathered the fabric in the waist and put a little bit of elastic in the back so you can put it on and off easily. And also I attached a little piece of lace under so it will look like underwear, but it prevents the dress from going up too far. It needs to stay down on her hips. So I cut out all of the bodice pieces and sleeves for the main dress, the outer dress piece. This is just the mock-up dress pieces. And we'll cut that out of some very beautiful organza. So here are all the pieces cut out, and I will fray check all the edges because I can't really zigzag. This fabric is very thin, as you can see, and very fragile. So just to prevent it from fraying, we do it like this. And for movie accuracy, we line all the pieces with some lace on the inside, as you can see here. I later on add another lining on the front piece because it still was a little bit too see-through, but the other pieces are just with the lace. I'll start with gathering the shoulder part of the sleeve, and as you can see I did some markings on the pattern. I'll just gather it by hand like this. There you have a puffy sleeve. And then I'll just attach the lower part of the sleeve to the shoulder piece. So now I've cut out the piece for the skirt part of the dress, and as you see I just try it out so it looks good, gathered to the bodice piece, and it looks good. So let's attach it and then we'll sew it together in the back also. And now the dress is finished. As you see, I put some buttons in the back. I sewed together two pieces here. And I already attached the two little flowers that are in the front, if you really look closely in pictures. And now let's just attach all the little beads and sequences to the dress. Later on, the customer and I agreed that the beading was a little bit too dark in some areas, some of the colors I chose, so I switched out some of the beading later. And then I also made a little matching necklace for her, and I will also make some matching earrings. So, and now that the outfits are completely done, I will start with the face-ups. And we'll start as usual with cutting off all this greasy, gluey hair. So after I soak them a bit in some boiling hot water, I take a screwdriver and just scrape out the remaining hair from the inside of the heads. And then it's done. And after that I'll remove the face paints with some 100% pure acetone, and don't forget to wash it off later with some water and soap. So we'll start with Jareth, and I'll just sketch out the face with some watercolor pencils. I tried the technique with a mechanical pencil, but I really didn't like that, so I'll just stick with my watercolor pencils. And as you see, I just sketched it out. I'll do the same to Sarah, and then I'll go in instantly with some gouache and acrylics on the face. And of course, we'll always start with a couple of layers with Mr. Super Clear UV Flat, and in between layers also. And then it's time for Sarah's character. I really wanted her to have some kind of expression on her face, so in the movie she looks kind of concerned a lot, so I went with that, a little bit concerned. And otherwise I just looked at her makeup in that dream scene, what colors to resemble, so yeah, I'm really happy with the results of that. And when the faces are done, I'll do the hair. And for these I chose to use some brushed out acrylic yarn and glue it directly to the heads. That's mainly because the acrylic is more pliable. It's easier to make it look like specific hairdos, and they have very specific hair in this movie. So for Jareth, I took some different blonde nuances, and for Sarah, I mixed some chocolate brown with black. And it's time to cut the hair, so I just look at some reference pictures and try to mimic the hair as close as possible. And because these dolls will travel very far, I seal the hairs in with some hairspray later just so they will keep better. Otherwise, you can use just water, but yeah, I really wanted the hair to stay. And then I'll finish the face with some gloss varnish on the eyes and the lips. For Sarah's hair, I used these metallic knitting sticks and heat them up with my flat iron and just gently curl the hair around. And it works really well, as you can see. And I'll just continue and do the whole head like this. And then she is done, and I do the same thing here. I seal it in with some regular hairspray. And also I gloss her eyes and lips as well. So I didn't totally forget about the earrings, I just saved them for last. So as you can see, I just use this wire and some little beads. And we have some pretty earrings. Perfect. So in the movie, she has this very intricate hair ornament that you barely can see what it looks like. So I kind of make my own interpretation of it with some thin wire here, and I cut out these sequins to look like leaf shapes and just glue them on. And yeah, I think it turned out really good. And with that, all the parts are finished, and very handy that you can just remove Jareth's head like that for easier application of clothes. So let's get her dressed with all the different pieces. And we'll do the same thing with Sarah. Let's get her dressed with her beautiful dress. And with that, they are ready for the beauty shots. If you are interested in the patterns for the coat and the dress, they will be uploaded to my Patreon. And you can join, just look at the link down below in the description box. And also thank you so much to my Patreons. And if you liked this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching so far. I'll see you next time. Bye!